What is going on, everybody? It's Spike Shooty here. We got a very, very important topic to discuss. I got Jonas Mark here once again.
What's up, everyone? Yeah,
So,
today's
yeah,
topic
so we're
is
gonna talk about a certain type of fandom that I think has infected the wrestling community, and we wanted to talk and go a little bit deeper into these people that have infected uh, the wrestling community, sort of. So I'm gonna hand it over to Jonas Mark, and take it away.
all right. Yeah, the group of people we're talking about is the anime community. And I'm not just talking about the general people who like anime, I feel like we need to differentiate. If you like Simpsons, Pokemon, different stuff like that, those are cartoons. We're talking the over the top anime people who pretty much at this point can't distinct reality from their damn TV shows, and all the type who are like, oh, this imaginary character is my waifu, and is basically saying they're in love or married to some character from a TV show. Yeah, I will admit there are certain animes and shows I like. I feel a lot of people in my time of the 90s growing up grew up with Pokemon, Sailor Moon, Yu-Gi-Oh, stuff like that. Those
I
were
was I was always just a Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh guy when I was a kid. I didn't really watch Toonami that much, which I think was like very popular back in the day. But those were like the only two that I was paying that much attention to myself.
yeah, I mean there's those but then I feel like a lot of people grew up with those or have seen some shows, but there's people out there who literally are so obsessed with these damn shows, they will literally like hang pictures of these weird anime girls in their room. Or the stupid anime cat girl thing where, oh my god, it's a girl with little cat ears. And then suddenly people determine, oh, I like this character, so that means I'm a furry. We're talking about these type of people. The people who just cross a line, both mentally, physically, sexually, and are just depraved and like, yeah, I don't care what people say, like, blah, blah, blah. We need to respect people. Like, no, these people need to be called out for just being sick and disgusting because that's what they are.
And that's why you're never gonna see me at like some sort of Comic Con related exhibition or stuff like that. Seriously, because I can't believe it myself that we gone this far down where
Yeah.
that stuff is a thing.
I mean, I went to Anime Boston one year. FYI, I am from near Boston. That's all y'all people will get from me. Regardless, I went to that and I was like, all right, maybe there's some Pokemon collectibles, maybe there's some Dragon Ball Z stuff. I didn't fit in with shit there and I never went back. Like, it's all these weird, depraved nerds, all these people who just dress up in costumes, totally simp for all these characters who are like, oh my god, this person played this 14-year-old girl in this anime, she's so beautiful. And it's like, you're not idolizing the movie act or the actress, you're idolizing the fact that they played a 14-year-old. And I've played mobile games such as like Pokemon mobile games and was in a few group chats, and I left those because those just started getting more and more depraved, where there'd be mixtures of kids and adults, and people start talking about, oh, that character's my waifu, they're so hot. And then people would be like, bro, she's 15 in the anime. And they're like, but she looks 18 here. And it's like, and that is exactly the issue.
By
Like,
the way, what is the age of consent in Japan?
that I actually do not know, but I do know, regardless of what it is, they do over sexualize or do stuff where they have characters who are 18 and make them purposely look underage. That's a whole fetish, a whole fucked up thing that people are into that we can divulge at a different time if we choose to, but that's a big thing with that culture is I actually
Isn't it like 15 or 16 or something like that? Let me look this up for a second.
I thought it was. I never really looked into that. I mean, I actually went to Japan for a college thing and studied abroad there for like a month, and there was anime stuff, but there were people there were more respectful of it and appreciated it as an art form. that like Miyazaki dude or whoever who made like the My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's
Oh,
Delivery
Miyazaki,
Service.
yep.
Yeah. That's a respected person. He made films, sort of family films, young kids, teen, like early teen films, and that's stuff that you can respect the art form of. I have some of his movies, and you don't really hear stuff about that. Like the characters in that are supposed to be what age you'd think they are. It's not friggin' 23-year-olds dressed up to look like 10-year-olds. Like there's literally animes that do that and just literally do it because there's a whole fan base out there that enjoy that.
By the
But
way, the age of consent in Japan is 13 years old.
oh well,
So
that's
there we go.
that's just great. That kind of explains a lot, actually. Yeah. So based on that, I know people who are, friends of mine, acquaintances, or other people, and there's been people I've cut ties with who've been so obsessed with anime and these shows. Like, I know people are like, oh, I've watched 800 plus animes and counting. It's like, okay, you work a shitty job, barely have friends, you don't have stable relationships, and all you do is watch these shows and say, oh, I love these characters, they're so cute, I love the story.
You
Yeah,
probably have like a lifetime subscription to like Crunchyroll or something like that. Although, isn't that free?
but I think it's like you get it ad free or something. But actually,
Okay.
I think they did have that. But it's like people wonder if you literally spend these hours and hours and years watching this shit and then wonder why you have such trouble talking to people and social anxiety. It's like I get people have anxiety about talking. It happens. But like if you're purposely bubbling yourself in to all this shit, it's like you're closing yourself off and putting yourself in this weird imaginary field where you think you can like fucking I don't know, you lose grip on reality. And that's what I think the big issue is there's these fucking people in the wrestling community who are so obsessed with, when fucking Oscar came over, fucking half these neckbeards freaking pissed and shit themselves all over that. Oh my god, she's from Japan, anime, 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 like big fucking deal. Like it's a character. And that's exactly what it is. People forget that wrestlers are people, but they are portraying characters. It is similar to Halloween. You put on a face or a mask and you are somebody else,
But
which
it's not even that these days. I mean, sure they'll dress up like it, but it's not like they're actually being an actual character. They're not really acting like they are someone that I think isn't close to themselves. They're pretty much themselves, but they are dressing up, and that's pretty much all they're doing, honestly.
yeah, it's just I just don't really get it. Like I've watched a few animes, I have a few collectibles. It's like okay, I watch it, but I have a job, I have college degrees, I have friends, I have a relationship. Like I can actually uh, go out and do shit, and I don't let it consume me.
And that's why it's actually when people say that when AEW is on like Friday and Saturday nights, and they're thinking, "Oh, it's such a bad time slot," is like, or it's because people are going out on those days. I'm always tell them, you really think these people have social lives where they go out on Friday and Saturday nights? Because that seems kind of far fetched to me, honestly, knowing these types of people.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. There's a stupid pandemic, but I agree with you. These people are not going out. The only place they might, well, actually, no, they're not going to the store. They're having their mom go to the store to pick them up Cheetos, Mountain Dew, and more moist towelettes.
That's that's pretty accurate, honestly.
Like, it's just, I don't get it. I get there's a big anime following. I get it's like a popular thing. Like, I don't know, like I'd still separate cartoons from it, like, growing up, Pokemon and stuff, but then people start doing these weird crossovers where there's been like anime crossover type stuff with Scooby Doo and all this weird shit. And it's like, why are
Wait,
people,
what? There's an anime crossover with Scooby Doo?
or something that's like pretty much. like pretty much like a rip-off of Scooby-Doo, where it's like a mystery solving group and they have a talking animal, and it's like, geez, I wonder
Oh,
where you took that.
so let's add some unoriginality to some of these things too. All right.
Yeah, it's just I don't get it. It's people are so into it that they're like literally completely forgetting that, oh, this isn't real, or oh, we need to separate part of this as fiction. It's and I've seen people and know people and have had former friends who have been so into this stupid shit that it's like, hey, do you want to hang out? They're like, no, no, I'm just sitting at home watching my show. And it's like, and then people wonder why they can't get jobs. They're struggling with relationships. And then they're just being judged by the community. It's like, well, because you're being depraved, and a lot of people are perverted when they do it too. So
Oh yeah.
there's,
I mean, honestly, I was pretty much pushed into doing the anime club at the second college I was in. I only was went into it because I had some friends that were a part of it, and I just wanted to spend more time with them. But when I went to these things, I mean, it got kind of weird because everyone kind of was like talking about all these animes like they were such great things. But when I was watching them, it's not like I could like remember what happened like a few hours after I already saw it. I mean, I honestly never got the hype of any of the stuff that they were showing me.
yeah, I mean, I feel like that just like with regular TV, there's categories. You have romance ones, you have actiony stuff fighting monsters, you have horror type scary ones, but like there's nothing that I've seen anime wise that I think is original or like, oh my God, this is groundbreaking. It's, hey, here's another show of people fighting monsters and trying to win, and obviously they're most likely going to win. It's just very predictable, but people just take it too far, and yeah.
And that's another thing that I really got out of it too. It felt like with each week that we saw a different anime, everything just kind of seemed very samey and very like predictable, as you just said. I never really got it had any sort of enjoyment, honestly, for the most part.
Yeah, I've tried watching a few. I mean, just I remember from the college that you and me went to, I remember the international students from Hong Kong, they would just be watching One Piece because I remember it was the fucking dude with the straw hat. And granted, I know that was the thing that they watched up there. And that was fine. They'd watch it in their room, do whatever. But the thing is, it's where just people become such weebs and nerds and simp out to these characters. Like I feel like in Japan and these countries, if you watch anime, you watch it because you enjoy it. Then when it became to America, people started taking perverted roots on it and oh, this character from Pokemon's 14, so we're gonna try to make her look 18 because she's hot. And it's like I feel like it's just the American culture. People become depraved and perverted, and you can't just watch a show. You have to just suddenly, oh, that girl looks like she's 15, she's hot, and people just get all fucked with it. Like, and that's exactly what's infecting the wrestling communities. People who are obsessed with all this shit, and like the second you hear any character from Japan, any wrestler, oh, anything even relating to anime or cartoons, like people just flip out and freak out and assume, oh my god, it's going to be like all this crazy shit. Like, and that's just exactly the issue is people just twist and pervert everything, and you literally just can't have normal things anymore without people turning it inappropriate.
And I think we lose complete sight as to who the main target audience is for these shows. And isn't it mostly like for kids for the most part?
I'd say a majority. I mean, I feel like, and granted, I don't watch enough anime to know this, but I know there's some animes for kids. Like, I'd think stuff like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, those are animes, but also cartoons. So that's like a weird blend that's for kids. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a fucking cartoon. Um, fuck, I don't know what the anime is, but there's one with some character named Kirito, and he goes in like a virtual world. He gets trapped in a computer, and he has to fight monsters to get out. And if he dies in the video game, he dies in real life. It's something one of the kids at my work talks about all the time. But that's one for teens. You know, the fighting monsters,
That
the
actually kind of sounds like I think the last Jumanji movies, honestly. But continue.
Yeah, it's basically the generic guy fights the monster, guy gets the girl at the end, and you know, there's that's sort of aimed at teens and stuff. But I mean, I know there's times where there's animes for like supposedly adults. That's there's literally like perverted and there's animes and stuff where there's apparently relationships between mother and son. I don't know if this is
Oh my god,
I don't know if this is an actual thing. I really am not looking that up because
where
I
did you
don't.
hear this or see this from?
One of the kids at my work was talking about it. He was talking about, I guess he's in a Discord chat, and somebody was talking about it and talking about how there's animes where there's literal intimate and sexual relations between mother and son because the son gets jealous of the father, and it's just like I just don't even have words. Like
And
why,
and there
how?
were like fans of this show.
Oh, it's got a big following. It's got a big following, and apparently it's big on the hentai community,
Oh
according
my
to the kid
god.
I work with. Yeah,
We better
so.
show this to Wrestling Otaku then, because that seems right up his alley.
Oh, I'm sure he's probably already seen it. I don't know what it is. I don't know the title, nor do I care to find out. But yeah, that brings us further to the sort of segue of that's exactly the issue with these animes is the second people find these, they become emotionally invested in these characters, and then some people take it further and become sexually interested in animated characters, and thus the searching of porn begins, and then that's just even worse. So it's pretty much a slippery slope. Like there's you know, you can appreciate stuff, you can think stuff's well written, you can like stuff. I'm not saying hate all anime because it's bad. Like I fucking Pokemon stuff in my room, big fucking deal. But like it it's where you draw the line. Like you have to realize these characters are fictional. You're not going to be dating them. The characters aren't going to love you back. You're not going to be sitting at home and apparently there's people who sit at home and have at home dinner dates with anime characters on their computer. Like,
What?
yeah, that's a thing. Like, and the thing is I've noticed like kids who are my girlfriend's niece and nephew who are 4, 7, and 11 or some ages like that are using anime terms that I didn't even know till I was like 13 or 14. Granted, I wasn't invested in it, but there's like these stupid terms uwu and owo. I don't know what the fuck they mean, but it's big anime terms sort of. And there's just people using those all the time. So it's like even at younger ages, people are just thrown into this anime community. I don't know if half these people know what this shit means. I don't really know what it means, but it's like, ugh, it's just really weird and messed up. I mean, there was one horror anime I liked. I forget what it was, but it had like demons and good sword fighting and sword battles, and there's a few good ones out there, and I'm able to watch it, enjoy the characters and the story, and that's it. I don't pretend I'm in the fantasy world. I don't want to go out and be like, I'm like the superhero. I'm going to go around and cut people with my sword. Like,
Honestly, if I want to watch any of that stuff, I'll just go for the shows that I watched as a kid, and even then, that's probably gonna be maybe like once or twice, just very rarely because, like I said, I'm not really big into that stuff. But that's where the I draw a line in the sand with that genre.
yeah, it's just such a wide genre, and I haven't dove in deeply into the subject. Like I mentioned, I have a friend who's probably watched 600 to 800 anime shows. Like he's watched every episode of 600 to 800 shows that are animes, and it's like that's a shit ton of time and TV and effort, and it's like, what are you getting out of that? You're watching stuff and you're not getting anywhere with it.
Does he have a good social life?
No. He does not.
Yeah.
He has a few
Okay.
friends. He talks to people on Discord, talks to a few people via his video games, supposedly has social anxiety. And it's like, well, maybe if we tried leaving the house, that would help. There's a thing called the outside world, and there's this nice little friend staring at you from the sky called the sun. You might want to see him once in a while. Like,
I would love to see you actually say that to him, honestly. It would take balls, but
oh no, I've told him that before, and then he called me
okay.
an ass, and then he called me an asshole, and I said at least they don't weeb out to animes and fake girls, and there was no comeback to that.
Okay.
But yeah, I told him there's a nice friend outside who can give him some D, and I mean some vitamin D. It's called the sun, and he didn't think it was funny. I thought it was quite hilarious, but regardless, like it's these people who just it's not even just the wrestling community, it's the anime community. Like you can't have anything on a video game now without people being perverted and talking about all this stupid shit. Like I used to be in a few discords that I left because it literally just turned into a fucking porn photo dump of anime characters and people posting sexualized photos of 12 and 14-year-old Pokemon characters in bikinis. And it's like, yeah, I was here to talk about games and strategies and, Pokemon memories and other. It was like a 90s show group thing. And then people just started posting like bikini photos of 12-year-old Pokemon girls. I'm like,
And that's the kind of mentality that the Smart Busters just could not get behind because there were people that were doing bizarre shit like that, and that's why it turned them off completely. This is why everyone should avoid Discord like the plague because of the mindset of some of these regulars that are on there.
and that's the thing I don't get. If there's so many of these regular fucked up people, and I don't care what people say, they are fucked up if they're doing that. Why don't they all go in one little area and leave the rest of Discord alone? Like make your own little cesspool of degenerates and leave normal people alone. It's just, I don't get what people are thinking. Like none of these shows or characters or things are real. None of it's going to happen. Maybe it's because these people are such degenerates, losers, and not going anywhere in life. They think, oh, just like in the anime, the loser gets the girl, so maybe I will. Like, no, you have to go out and meet people to get the girl, or you have to actually communicate, and you can't just hide in mommy's house till you're 50 and find a love story that way. Like, I just don't get how people think.
I think that will wrap it up right there. So yeah, you can love the shows, but proceed with caution with some of these people because it feels like they don't even want to have a life outside of their anime fandom and nerddom or stuff like that. So that's about it.
Yeah, just remember, get a good job, make friends, go out, go to bars, go to fucking pick pumpkins. Or literally, I don't give a shit what people do. Like, go out, see the world. There's a nice world out there that's not surrounded by your four walls and your TV. Like, go out and do stuff. And I don't care if you like anime, you can enjoy it, but just keep it like appropriate and don't get too fucking degenerate with it because we don't need any more of that. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about it.
All right. Well, until then, take care.